What's good, y'all? It's Galio here. These past couple weeks, I have been invested in FusionFall Reborn. And when I say invested, I do mean invested. Um, there's just so many cool things with this version that I'd love to talk about. But instead of making a video covering all the new features, because it's already been done multiple times at this point, I want to kind of bring to light some of the things, like lesser known things people aren't doing. So like I want to give tips or advice on some things that people aren't as aware of, and that's what I'm here for today. If you're unaware, because this is a test, we are going to be having a reset on all of our character data. So this video will serve as kind of like a guide when the release comes out, so that way you can go into the release with these things in mind and have an easier time. I'd like to jump right into talking about racing, and I know this may not be for everyone, but hear me out on this. Racing is probably your best way currently to get things like enchant protects, boosters, costume dyes, style changes. It's the only way to get vehicle crates right now. Basically, any of the useful utilities that you would find. And these all come from the Racing Surprise Crate, in which you can buy that from the Sacked Agent, the guy that starts the races for you. You can buy that in the shop. So these cost 50 coins each, and you can only get 10 of them a week, which is kind of a rough farm, but there is ways around that, in which I'm going to get to. The most important thing I feel like that people aren't doing right now is just simply going for like high scores, right? So if you can get the first spot in these races, which of course is easier said than done, but if you can get the first spot, then you're rewarded a racing crate as well as a bundle of those coins. So for every race except K&D training area currently, you can get 30 coins on top of that racing crate. The K&D area gives 20. So if you do this every week, you can get 140 coins. And actually, I think the coins you get rewarded even if you're not the top spot, as long as you're like in the top 10 for the week. Now, if you're looking to get your hands on these crates, I do actually have a playlist of the routes in which will get you these crates. Each one has the top score in said race, except for the K&D one. I have not been able to get that just yet. Still working on that. But everything with there works, so you should be able to get your top spot, get your score. Might take a little bit of practice, but eventually you'll be able to get it. Now, before I move on to the next thing, I'd like to briefly cover boosters. I did mention them during the races section, but when it comes to boosters, these are especially useful. You could get a monster booster, which will increase the Tyros and fusion matter you get from killing monsters by 25%. A race booster, this one's really good. This will give you, I believe, 25% as well, fusion matter and race coins. So instead of getting 2 coins for completing the Pokedex race, you'll get 3 instead. Really, really good. When you get this, use it. It's worth it. And then the last one is the mission booster. This one is it's kind of okay to get right now, not really worth it until we get to the pass. So I would recommend saving those, as you'll be able to breeze through levels 5 to 8 really easily with that. We've also got daily missions now. These were added a couple patches ago now, and basically you get 4 daily missions each day. They come from Eddie, Mandark, Buttercup, and Samurai Jack, and it can range anywhere in between killing like you kill 5 Dihydras and then you kill 6 Candy Bandits, right? And then there's also one where you got to kill Don Doom and Bad Max once. These are really worth it to do. They give you a material crate, which can yield, I believe it's like what, 2 or 3 of each of the material if you get lucky. And then you also get a daily crate, and these are really good as well for getting some of those things I mentioned before. Like you get the enchant items, you can get the dyes, the style changes, stuff like that. Very worth it to do. You can do this per character, so 4 characters per account. Do it every day. Pretty worth it. You do also get an email when you complete these, which gives you a random item, which can be actually, like, it could be anything, like any of the utilities. It could be a super gumball potion, and there's probably some other things I'm not remembering right now as well, but they're really good rewards. So do keep up on your dailies. Weeklies are also coming soon in a later patch. I believe it was mentioned when the past comes out. So we have that to look forward to as well. Alright, let's talk about farming. I've heard many times throughout this test that currently it's very difficult to obtain the plates, to get the materials needed to enhance your gun, and while it is true to an extent, there is definitely ways you can find them to make it much easier and honestly pretty common. What I found is that the best find for those currently is the tread heads, as it takes, depending on gear, for me it takes about 2 shots per tread head, and they seem to drop the plates pretty often, within half an hour, and get about 40 to 50 plates. And if you break down your items, which is something else I'm going to get into in just a moment, breaking down the items can also yield a lot of materials as well, so do be making use of that. It is time consuming, it can be a bit tedious, especially when you go to enhance your gear and it keeps constantly breaking on you, but if you keep with it, you'll get it eventually. On the other half, it's also very expensive to keep constantly enhancing, with each attempt costing anywhere in between 500 to 1,000 tiles each, as well as if you're going to be breaking your items, it can cost a hefty penny. About, I think it's 1,200 if you're breaking down just basic level 4 items. So on the other side, we have the other farm I found, which is the fusion spawns. Believe it or not, they're actually really good for money. If you go in there with a high level gun, you can actually one-tap the fusion spawns for the most part. Get your weapon boost, get the correct nails, so use Buttercup for this, and assuming you have monster cards, you can find these really quickly. Even if you don't have the monster cards, it's probably gonna be like 2 shots, 3. I haven't tested it, but you can break down everything here except for the accessories and the lightning gun. And when you break down a level 1 item, it's actually really good because you always make your money. Each item costs 30 tiles to break, and you more often than not will get 2 bandages or clips per item, those being 32 tiles each if you sell them. So you quite literally always profit if you're breaking these down, and with the rate of how many items you get, you're just constantly making money. You can also sell your items to play stores. People are looking for all the accessories still because we have the item collection, so you want to collect those, get those extra stats, you know? So we can definitely make good money this way. And if you balance the two of them, the Treadhead farm and the fusion spawns, you could stay semi-consistent with the enhancing. While we're on the topic of farming, I'd also like to talk about groups briefly. As it stands, you currently get half the tiles you would normally get by killing alone when you're in a group with someone. But this isn't to say that farming in a group is worthless. It's actually pretty good if you know how to make it work. Currently, in order to get loot from a monster, you have to have participated in at least 10% of its health. This means that if we're going to farm in a group, we need to adopt a strategy for it. What I found that works best is you have someone with a strong weapon leading the group. They attract the enemies by shooting them once, and let's say it brings them down to a quarter of their health. Then you have your other friend finish them off, and this way you can both get loot from the same enemy. This is what I call the double tap strategy. Sometimes, if you're really fast, you can actually do this faster than if you're farming solo, but again, you will be only gaining half the tiles, so it just depends on if you want to have a faster farm for more items, and if you want to have a buddy around, or if you prefer to play solo and get more tiles yourself. Lastly, I'd just like to quickly mention the Discord linking feature. If anyone hasn't linked their Discord, and they like to chat a lot, for instance, this is a really good feature because as long as you're linked to the Discord, you will periodically get an email in-game giving you tyros. I believe it's 1,000 for bronze, 2,500 for silver, and 5,000 for gold, depending on how much you talk. And you also have a chance to get extra items too. Like I actually got a pumpkin crate one time from just the bronze tier reward. I saw someone get a vehicle from one. You can just get like all sorts of random items. It's really nice. So if you're social, or you just like to talk a lot, have a lot to say, or even want to just interject periodically, it's just worth it to link your Discord account. And yeah, that's really all there is to it today. If you stuck around till the end of the video, let me know what you guys think. If I missed out on anything, or if there's you know something that you guys know, I'd greatly appreciate it. I have to say, I'm loving Reborn so far. Like I said in the beginning, I've been invested in this the past couple weeks. I'm very excited to see where this project ends up. The patch should be coming out pretty soon here, so we'll have, I believe it's the first 4 levels of that coming out soon, which is very exciting stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it today. Catch you guys next time. Peace.